الكتاب وأقم الصلاة إن الصلاة تنهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر ولذكر الله أكبر والله يعلم ما تصنعون.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Apologies for the past few weeks. We haven't had a class, I think, in 4 or 5 weeks due to tests and assignments and busy schedules. Alhamdulillah, we're back today and we plan on continuing strongly, inshallah. Okay, so today we are looking at the faraid of Jummah Salah, or the faraid of the khutbahs of Jummah Salah. So, as we know, during Jummah Salah, or before the Salah commences, 2 khutbahs are delivered. And then for these khutbahs, there are 5 faraid. For each of these khutbahs, there are 5 faraid and shurut of the khutbahs. So, for these khutbahs, we have 5 faraid and 6 shurut. The faraid of the khutbahs are those things which must be contained in the khutbahs, in the absence of which the khutbahs will be incorrect. So similarly like the salah, if any of the faraid of the salah is not performed or is not contained in your salah is then not correct. Similar to the khutbahs, there are these 5 faraid which has to be parts of the khutbahs. So the first faraid is, the first fard is the praise of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So the khatib, meaning the one who delivers the khutbah, should normally the imam or the resident imam, or normally they get someone in from a neighboring city, etc. So this khatib should praise Allah in one of the following manners. For example, Alhamdulillah, Alhamdulillah, Nahmadullah. So we always hear when the khutbah starts, the imam, he reads that. The second faraid, or the second fard, is the recitation of the shahada. So you read the shahada, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah. And that's the third part, the salawat, meaning salutations upon Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. So in the khutbah, the salawat should be recited on the Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam in one of the following manners. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad, or sallallahu ala Muhammad, and Allahumma salli alayhi sallallahu alayhi. Okay, so these are 3 manners in which you may recite salawat upon the Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. The fourth faraid of the khutbah is the nasiha. So the person, the khatib, should give the Jumu'ah nasiha, that is, he should deliver a sermon wherein he exhorts them towards the fear for Allah, obedience towards Allah, and to be mindful of their duties towards Allah. He may also use the following minimum words. أوصيكم بتقوى الله اتقوا الله. So the above mentioned should be right at the commencement of every khutbah. So these 4, the first 4 faraid of the khutbah should be at the commencements of the khutbah, at the start. Okay? Then the 5th is the ayah from the Quran. So you normally hear a few ayahs being recited in the khutbah. So the khatib should recite at least one. So at least one ayah from the Quran in either of the first or second khutbah, but it is better in the first. So this, like we said, there's 2 khutbahs. The first one is when the khatib gets onto the minbar, he gives the first khutbah, then there's a pause between the 2. He sits down and then afterwards he continues with the second khutbah. So in either of these, at least one ayah from the Quran needs to be recited, and it's preferable, it's better to recite this in the first khutbah. The sixth faraid is the dua. So in the second khutbah, the blessings of Allah help for the whole Muslims ummah. In the second khutbah, the blessings of Allah help for the whole Muslim ummah, and their welfare in the dunya as well as in akhirah should be sought. So you make dua into Allah to protect us, to grant us success, to make it easy for us to grant the sick health, etc. So you make dua for this entire Muslim Ummah, for the welfare, for the dunya and for the akhirah, to grant us Jannah, inshallah. So note that in some kitabs, the recitation of the two shahadatain is also mentioned as a fard, preferably to be recited in each of the two khutbahs. We therefore would like to add them to the fara'id. So those are the 6 fara'id of the khutbahs, the two khutbahs. Then we come to the shurut of the khutbahs. So the first one is tahara, like before we perform salah. So the shuruts of those things which need to be in place before you can perform a deed or before you can perform ibadah. So like for salah, you need to be clean, you need to have wudu. That's a shurut of the salah. Similarly for the khutbah, you need tahara. So the khatib should have wudu, and his body, clothes and his standing place during the khutbah should be free from any najasa. Okay, that's the first one. The second one is delivering of the khutbah while standing. So this is necessary. The khatib must stand while reciting the khutbah, and the khutbah would not be right if the imam, in spite of being capable of standing, delivers the sermon while sitting down. Okay? He may only sit for some excuse if he is forced to do so, as in the case of illness or weakness. So if you are by the means, you need to, similarly as to when you perform salah, if you are by the means, if you are capable, you stand and deliver the khutbah. If by some means, if you've got a broken leg or any illness which forces you not to be able to stand, then you are allowed to sit. The third shurut is the Arabic language. So both khutbahs must be delivered in Arabic. It is sufficient for the Jama'ah to be aware that the khatib is enjoining their welfare, meaning their nasiha, even though they do not understand Arabic. So normally, especially before the khutbah start, there's a khutbah or talk in English or Afrikaans or Urdu or any language that's native to the particular place, where the imam gives nasiha, etc. However, that does not form part of the khutbahs. The khutbah starts when the imam gets on the mimbar and then delivers the two khutbahs. Okay? So Jumu'ah actually starts when the imam gets on the mimbar and the second adhan. Normally there's 2 adhans for Jumu'ah. The first adhan is to call you to Jumu'ah, and the second adhan, when the imam gets on the mimbar, that is when Jumu'ah actually commences. So the fourth shurut is in the tartib, meaning the sequence. So the fara'id of the khutbah should be performed in the proper sequence consecutively, as previously mentioned. Then the fifth shurut is the pause between the khutbahs. The khatib must sit down between both khutbahs for a period as long as it would take to normally recite Surah Ikhlas. During this pause, he must be silent. Where the khatib delivers his khutbah while sitting, he must only remain silent during this pause. The fifth is the audibility, meaning the jama'ah needs to be able to hear the khatib. So the khatib should recite aloud in such a manner that at least 40 men close to him can hear him. So in cases where you don't have access to microphones or sound systems, you need to raise your voice so that at least 40 people in your vicinity, in the jama'ah, 40 men, they can then hear you. Luckily now we have microphones, we have speakers, amplifiers, all of this fancy stuff, so that's not too much of a problem. Okay? So those are the fara'id and in the shurut of the khutbah. We'll now look at some sunnahs for Jumu'ah. Okay? So it is sunnah for the khatib, the person delivering the khutbah, that on proceeding to the mimbar, he should softly greet those people sitting in the vicinity of the mimbar, and then having ascended the mimbar, he should face the congregation and loudly greet the whole jama'ah. The wording of this greeting should be Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. So the standard greeting, which means peace be upon you and also Allah's mercy and blessings. After this greeting, the Khatib sits down so that the adhan is said in front of the minbar. At the completion of the adhan, the khutbahs are delivered without delay, and after the second khutbah, the salah should commence without delay. It is sunnah for the first rak'ah of the salah to recite either Surah Jumu'ah or Surah A'la, so Sabbih Isma Rabbika Al-A'la, whereas in the second rak'ah, Surah Munafiqun or Surah Ghashiyah should be read. So these are sunnah surahs to be read in the first and the second rak'ah of Jumu'ah. Then ghusl for Jumu'ah is also sunnah. So if you remember back, when we done Tahara, we looked at the sunnah and the fard instances where ghusl is required, so where ghusl becomes sunnah and when ghusl is fard. So one of those sunnah instances was for Jumu'ah Salah. So ghusl for Jumu'ah is also sunnah. It can be performed at any time between the beginning of Fajr time and the Salah of Jumu'ah. It is best to do so just prior to going to Jumu'ah, and the musalli should put on his best clothes, use fragrant oil, so attar, not perfume, as many perfumes fall under najasa, and to walk a longer way towards the masjid, walking briskly. To walk towards Jumu'ah has an increased reward. Okay, so with regard to the attar and the perfume, the reason why perfume is not recommended is because perfumes have alcohol, high levels of alcohol in them, and would then be considered najasa. That's why attar is recommended, and then also walking a longer route to masjid for Jumu'ah. With every step you take, you get more reward. So the longer you walk, the more reward you receive. So then on arrival at the mosque, the musalli first performs 2 rak'ahs, tahiyatul masjid, and then from then till the commencement of Jumu'ah, it is sunnah and most virtuous to recite Surah Kahf. Should one be unable to do this, one may remain occupied with any form of dhikr, so tasbih, tahleel, takbir and salawat, etc. After the commencement of the time for Jumu'ah and the first adhan, 4 rak'ahs are performed before the fard of Jumu'ah, and they are performed 2, so in sets of 2, so 2 and then another 2. The niyyah for these rak'ahs are nawaitu usalli sunnat al-jumu'ati rak'ataini lillahi ta'ala. So I form niyyah of performing 2 rak'ahs sunnah of Jumu'ah for Allah alone. During the khutbahs, the musalli should remain seated in silence, listening, bearing in mind that the khatib is busy giving sound advice and admonishing the jama'ah. So with regard to sitting silently during the khutbahs, Jumu'ah comes with high rewards. And as I said, as soon as the adhan is given and the imam has started his khutbah, that's when Jumu'ah starts. So it is said that if you talk during the time that the imam is on the minbar or when he's giving his khutbah, even if you're just greeting another person or anything like that, if you're telling your brother to stop going on, any form of talking, you then lose your reward for Jumu'ah, right? Or some of your reward for Jumu'ah. Okay? That's why it's important to remain quiet. When during the khutbahs anyone enters the masjid, he should not perform any other salah or fard salah except tahiyatul masjid. These 2 rak'ahs at the specific time must be performed very lightly and quickly. One should not add any other surah to the Fatiha, and in the tahiyyat he should only recite the fard salawat, as reading anything more than this at this particular occasion is haram. Okay? So you perform your salah shortly and lightly and briskly. In other words, you should finish these rak'ahs quickly while the khutbah is being delivered. So this is if you walk into the masjid while the imam is performing or delivering the khutbah. It is sunnah for the Jumu'ah attendant to recite Surah Kahf a few times from Thursday evening, to recite as much salawat as possible, and also to give out alms to the needy according to one's ability. The Jumu'ah of a person arriving late for Jumu'ah just in time to join the imam in the ruku of the second rak'ah is valid. After the salam of the imam, he should add on 1 rak'ah. Okay, so I think this question was asked in our previous class, where is your Jumu'ah then valid if you join the Jama'ah in the ruku of the second rak'ah? And then, so now it's been confirmed, it is. Okay, so after the salah, after the salam, the imam of the imam, he should then just add on one rak'ah. If one joins the imam after the ruku of the second rak'ah, he has lost Jumu'ah. This person's duty now is that when the imam says the final salam, he should stand up and with the same original intention perform 4 rak'ahs of dhuhr. So if you join the Jumu'ah salah in the second ruku of the second rak'ah, you have, or after, so if you join it in the first, if you make that rak'ah, like we said, if you join the imam in the second rak'ah, in his ruku, you've made that rak'ah and then you only perform one afterwards. However, if you've missed that rak'ah, so you missed the first 2 rak'ah of Jumu'ah, you've then missed Jumu'ah. And then when the imam has said his salam, you then perform your 4 rak'ahs of dhuhr. Note also that all the valid reasons for which a person may stay away from the Jama'ah are also valid reason for absenting oneself from Jumu'ah. So if you are sick, if you are traveling, so you have to travel through Jumu'ah. If like I said, if you leave before Fajr, or if you left the night before and you're still on your way, then all of those reasons which we mentioned before, valid reasons for missing Jumu'ah Salah, or for missing Salah with Jama'ah is invalid for missing Jumu'ah Salah. However, if you miss 3 Jumu'ahs without a valid reason, you are then considered a kafir. So valid reason, as you said, sickness, forgetfulness, etc. May Allah protect us from that, inshallah. Okay, so we'll stop there for today. Shukran for everyone. And we'll continue next week with the Salah Musafir. So when you're traveling, which Salah you can shorten, which you join together, etc. Okay, shukran wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.